Hi guys, I just thought I'd just do a video again. Sorry for the makeup free face. I was in the school run this morning and I've just had a shower. Yeah, I thought to just do a video of um my Pegasus necklace that I got for Christmas. And that's a planet at the back of it. It's this constellation. Um and this is also my, oh, you can't see it, but I am wearing a Roman bracelet. um, so yeah, I decided to just do a video whilst I've got the time to do it because my son's at school, um, about my experiences. Now, my experiences really are never to do with gods that I am actually worshipping and feeling drawn to start worshipping them, or knowing something about them to start worshipping them. That these experiences generally come from. Every time that I'm involved in religion, I always end up being, I always end up experiencing things where people would generally end up getting, where they feel it's an opportunity then to start controlling by start telling me that, oh, that I should be worshipping this deity because I've been experiencing this deity, when not at all, because when I don't feel drawn to deities, when they're not a deity that I want to consider worshipping, they won't generally get worshipped. It was last year and before Christmas, I ended up experiencing Morgan when I am not even considering being eclectic of the Greek religion. There is a massive difference of being involved in two religions, which is considered eclectic. And there's also a massive difference of being an example, an eclectic Hellenismos, an eclectic Hellenistic, or an eclectic Hellenic. There is a massive difference in them both. Because I think the reason why people go into, like, for example, eclectic Kemetic, eclectic Hellenismos, is because it maybe they don't want to be involved in both religions, so they just worship a god from the religion where the god is from, rather than being involved in that religion. Or they may not know that it is possible in being, Greco-Roman or Greco-Roman Kemetic or whatever you want to be. I mean, because when I was eclectic Kemetic, it wasn't something that I generally wanted to get involved in. Because I was asking, is it possible to be involved in the Greek religion? Because I really don't want to go into eclectic Kemetic. So it wasn't something I generally wanted to do anyway. But I was being told that you couldn't because it's two separate religions, so they didn't think that it was possible. But I had others telling me that it is possible and that I am able to do it. But yeah, so it was a bad time. Was that I ended up experiencing horrible, horrible things, and I generally got out of that as soon as I can, because it wasn't something I generally wanted to experience anywhere, and it wasn't something I generally wanted to be involved in. So back on the topic. um, so yeah, I ended up experiencing Morgan from the Celtic religion, when she's not a goddess that I've been considering into worshipping or even felt drawn to, and I'm not considering being eclectic of the Greek religion. It was before I went Greco-Roman. And so I generally thought that was quite weird, because usually when you don't experience gods and goddesses that you feel drawn to or what have you, you end up experiencing a trickster problem. Not end up experiencing a goddess from another religion when you haven't considered worshipping her. And nobody can be forced into going into religion or going into paths that they don't want to go down on. So, which I know that people would have had a field day with that, and they would have felt like where they would turn around and say to me, well, you need to consider being eclectic of the Greek religion. You need to consider that to worship Morgan. It's like, no, I can't be forced. Because people would generally have had a field day with that, and I would have felt forced, and they would have tried to force me. So, I'm saying to you guys now that I cannot be forced into going into a path that generally I don't feel comfortable in. And when it's not a path that I've been considering anyway, it's not going to happen. And another one was hearing Hades' name being said. Hades is Pluto's name being said when I was just about to wake up. Now, I am not worshipping Hades. I don't even feel drawn to Hades, Pluto. He's not even a god that I was ever considering worshipping, even in Hellenic paganism. The same with Morgan. So I can't really have anyone say to me, well, Caesar, you've experienced Hades, Pluto, you need to start considering Hades. Like, no, I don't. When I don't feel drawn to worshipping a deity, I will not worship a deity that I do not feel drawn to, that I generally don't want anything to do with. It's not as if it's not like I have anything against these deities, because I don't. It's just generally that I just don't want to worship them. And I cannot be forced into worship them, and I cannot be forced into going onto a path that I don't want to go down on. I mean, the area that I live in anyway is not even a Hades Pluto area. I live in a seaside destination. I live in a seaside town, a popular seaside town in the whole of Yorkshire. So my area is mostly around sea deities, sea Greek deities in Roman, like Aphrodite Venus, Amphitrite Celestia, Poseidon Neptune. Then you've got sea nymphs like Thetis, and then you've got the Nereids. So, this is a seaside town, and then we have a big nature park. So I also worship deities like Dionysus Bacchus, and you have the nature nymphs, with it being due to us having a full nature park. So this area is not even at Hades Pluto area anyway, and even if it was, it would still highly likely not be a god that I would want to worship. I mean, it doesn't bother me that people worship him. I'm not that sort of person that will kick a fuss over it. And especially when these experiences that I've had with these deities are revolving around something that's hardcore, and I'm not hardcore, I've never have been. I'm the sort of person where I don't get easily offended. It does take a lot to offend me, and I'm not hardcore either. So I shouldn't really be experiencing stuff that is revolving around hardcore stuff that a hardcore person would want to experience, and also experiencing stuff where it would cause me to get easily offended when I'm not that sort of person. So I shouldn't be experiencing stuff which is the complete opposite to what I am. I should be experiencing stuff that is more like my sort of thing, with being the sort of person to who I am. And obviously, I don't take myself too seriously, so I shouldn't also be experiencing stuff where, where happen. So I should be experiencing stuff where, like, the complete opposite to who I am. And obviously, and with me not experiencing gods that I generally am worshipping, and do feel have a bond with, especially with the area that I'm in. I mean, yes, I am also worshipping deities that are not anything to do with the area, like Athena Minerva. She's when the Romans came to Britain, they brought their gods with them, because we were all Romanized at one point, Roman Britain, and so they brought their deity Athena Minerva over, and so she became the protectress of York, which I will go on a topic about Roman Britain. So, but usually when you don't experience gods in your own religion, you get put through a trickster problem, and I'm not even experiencing that as far as I'm aware. Which is usually what happens. But yes, you don't have to experience gods. But it's also when you don't experience them, the trickster problem happens, which is what usually happens. I don't know whether it's like a sheer coincidence, but it sure appears to be that way. But yes, it is true, you don't have to experience them either. So, I end up experiencing things where people would either get controlling, start telling me what to do, when no. I'll worship who I want to, and when I don't feel drawn to gods, I won't worship them. So in regards to experiences, that's basically all I have to say in regards to that. It's just the added stuff that I generally shouldn't be dealing with, because I shouldn't be experiencing it anyway. And if anyone else has actually been in that sort of situation, if you do comment below, because I generally do feel that I'm initially on my own with this. If you haven't been experiencing stuff like this, and I'm happy for you, because the last thing you need is telling people about it and them getting controlling with you by saying, well, because you've experienced this, you have to take that path, you have to do this. Well, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. Even when you experience it, when you know that it's nothing to do with the path that you're on, and when you know you haven't been considering being eclectic of the religion that you're in, or when you've been experiencing a god that you haven't been considering worshipping, when you don't even feel drawn to that deity, it isn't for you at all. It's something that shouldn't have happened, and when you know it's going to cause people to get controlling, like start forcing you into stuff that you don't want to do, then you know that it's wrong. And just focus on the path that you're on, and just keep doing what you're doing. The next video that I'm going to do, I think I may premiere the next one actually. It's a special video, and it's not going to be in my hometown. It's actually going to be outside of my hometown. I'm not going to give you any details away, but it is a surprise that I'm going to do for you guys. And I'm going to take you on a really nice tour of everything. And I hope you enjoy it, the next one. I'm sorry this one's a little bit like this is the video I didn't really want to do, because it's like it's not really anything to do with what the path that I'm on. It's unnecessarily stuff that I've been experiencing that I shouldn't been, because it has nothing to do with being drawn to deities, and it has nothing to do with what I'm about, who I am. It's all been totally irrelevant, and I shouldn't have never ever experienced it, but it's not my fault that it happened. And so, in the Roman religion it hasn't happened, because obviously I'm Greco-Roman. In the Roman religion it hasn't happened. I'm being left alone from that up to now, but you never know, I could end up experiencing a few years down the line. So yeah, that's everything for now. I hope you have a good day guys. Bye.